What's up, and welcome to Me, You, and Switch 2. I'm me, Tom Tate, and you're you, so let's talk about Switch 2. This is your podcast for the latest Nintendo Switch 2 news. We're going to keep it short and sweet, 5 to 10 minute episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Today is Tuesday, July 29th. I can't believe that we're nearing the last month of summer. This summer is just flying by. I don't know about you. I'm very deep into Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's what I've been playing. I'm maybe a little bit past the halfway point. I'm not sure, but that's what it feels like. I'm going to try to barrel through it this week. I'm really worried about spoilers. I heard a few people had the ending spoiled. I don't want that person to be me. So this episode will be a quick one. The big news. This is kind of breaking news for me because I only do an episode twice a week. So sometimes I miss the big news. But last night, we heard that Mario Paint, the classic Super Nintendo game that debuted with a physical mouse that actually plugged into your console, Mario Paint has made it to Nintendo Switch Online. This was announced last night through a fantastic YouTube video. I really appreciated this video. There was a lot of cheesy Nintendo-ish jokes, exactly what I would expect from Nintendo. It's live now in Nintendo Switch Online. You can play it today. I think when this was confirmed, when it was confirmed that Nintendo Switch 2's big gimmick was mouse functionality, we all kind of knew that this was coming. We all kind of felt it. A lot of people predicted it. It might have been a cool launch week title, maybe something that would have shown off the mouse controls a little bit earlier, but this isn't too far off from launch. I'm pretty excited for this. I have some fond memories of playing Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo, but not much. I had a friend who owned it with the mouse, but I never had it myself. So, I dabbled, but I didn't really get too deep into it. So I'm excited to dive in at some point. If you're not familiar, this game has a few different creative modes that let you use a mouse to create art. You can color different Mario scenes. You can play a few interactive games. It was a big deal at the time that it was released. What's really interesting here, I think, is that the OG Nintendo Switch 1, can use a compatible USB mouse to play as well. So I was thinking about this when I first saw that in the trailer. If this is the case, why can't we use a compatible USB mouse to play other games? So if mouse controls, for example, for Metroid Prime 4 are super fluid and fun, it would be really nice for Switch 1 owners to be able to experience that same gameplay. So I'm curious to see if this unlocks future opportunities for mouse controls on Nintendo Switch 1. Either way, you can jump right in. You can check out the trailer on Nintendo's YouTube channel. I put the link in the show notes. I'm curious if you're stoked about this. Are there more classic games that you're waiting for? Let me know on Blue Sky. I'm at Switch 2 Pod. That's Switch with the number 2 Pod. Switch 2 Pod on Blue Sky, Switch 2 Pod on Instagram. Hit me up. I wanted to share a few things last week, but it ended up being a longer episode. We received some sales numbers for Nintendo Switch 2 that I thought were super interesting. So this isn't new news, but I really appreciate getting some of this intel. Nintendo Switch 2 has become the fastest selling gaming hardware in US history. So I'm reading from an IGN article here. In total, the Switch 2 sold 1.6 million units in the US during its launch month, beating the PlayStation 4's previous sales record of 1.1 million units in November of 2013. Unshockingly, it was the best-selling console of the month, both in terms of units and dollar sales. So pretty big showing for Nintendo. It looks like these details come from the analyst Circana. Another quote from IGN: across both Nintendo Switch platforms, Switch 2 exclusive Mario Kart World was the best-selling game of the month, followed by Cyberpunk 2077 and Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, both of which launched alongside the new console. In 4th and 5th place, respectively, were Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, followed by Street Fighter VI, Mario Kart 8, Hogwarts Legacy, Bravely Default's Remaster, and Minecraft. Because Nintendo doesn't share digital sales numbers with Circana, this chart might be missing some big sellers. So we also learned of those 1.6 million unit sales, 82% either purchased the Nintendo Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World bundle, or they bought the game standalone. I think this is wild. This is really good validation that Mario Kart was the right title to launch with. 82% It's crazy, 82%. I'm not sure DK, Donkey Kong Bonanza, would have had those numbers. So I think they made the right choice with Mario Kart. And finally, Circana estimates that Nintendo sold approximately 512,000 Pro controllers. And that was at an $85 price point. It was originally $80. It went up to $85 because of the tariffs and the macroeconomic issues. That's around 1 in 3. So I'm sure many of you picked up one of the Pro controllers. The reviews for the controller are stellar. I wish I had one. But after dropping over $500 and picking up Bravely Default and knowing that I'd eventually get Donkey Kong Bonanza, I just couldn't justify the purchase myself. So I will be curious to see if that attach rate is sustained through the holidays. I think, the initial early adopters, they're always going to get the peripherals, they're always going to get the accessories, they're always going to get the Pro controllers. But I'm curious if all the moms and dads out there who pick up the Nintendo Switch 2 as a Christmas gift, if they also go and get the Pro controller. We'll have to wait and see. Up next, we've got a few rumors and just some game news. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is coming to Switch and Switch 2. This is from Digital Eclipse. It looks like a release date of September 30th was recently leaked. So we'll keep an eye out for an official announcement there. SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide is a rumored $40 title with a suggested November 18th release date. This would be a THQ Nordic release. This is exactly the type of game that I'd expect to see in a Nintendo Direct or a partner Direct, really showcasing some of the holiday releases. So this feels like the perfect holiday game, right? $40 in contrast to some of the $60 and $70 titles that we're seeing. Recognizable character like SpongeBob, so we'll have to wait and see if this gets officially announced. And finally, Tetris 99 has announced their 48th Maximus Cup, which is an online event. This is running from August 1st to August 4th. This time it features visuals and music from Donkey Kong Bonanza. This looks like a lot of fun. I haven't played Tetris 99 in quite a while, but this might be the thing that draws me back in. We'll have to wait and see if I have some time to dive into that on August 1st. Before we go, I wanted to quickly share another top games list. I like these. This reminds me so much of Nintendo Power's Player's Pulse. If you remember the Nintendo Power magazine, at the end of the magazine, they always kind of had a top 10 or top 30 list. So if you're looking for a new game, maybe this list will help you out. This is Kotaku's 12 best games on Nintendo Switch 2. I have the link in the show notes as well. I want to say these are in no particular order, but I'm really not sure. Cyberpunk 2077. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Hitman, World of Assassination, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Kart World, No Man's Sky, Split Fiction, Street Fighter 6, and the final 3, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Fast Fusion, and Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. So interesting list here. They have a little bit of everything. So it's a solid lineup. I'm really excited about how the Switch 2 lineup has shaped up so far. Super stoked to see how the Switch 2 lineup shapes up in the future. Nintendo Switch Online games are looking strong. That's it for today. We will be back on Friday. We're still hanging on for that July Nintendo Direct. We have just a few days left, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Again, this is Tuesday morning that I'm recording this, so it could happen today. They could announce it today, have it on Wednesday or Thursday, announce it tomorrow, have it on Thursday. We'll have to wait and see. If you're appreciating the show, a quick rating or review helps me continue to grow. Sharing with a friend or your favorite Reddit or Discord community goes a long way as well. I'm sure you're a busy person. I'm a busy person as well. I have not been doing a great job with self-promotion. It's not my strong point. I really just love devouring the news and bringing it to you. So if you can help me out with a little bit of the promo, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Thanks for tuning in. I've been watching the numbers grow each week. Really appreciate it. Grateful that you're here. Much love. Now go play some games.